The Israeli government has told so many lies since October the 7th, about Gaza, about aid, that it's hard to remember them all, let alone keep up. Here, in less than 3 minutes, are Israel's top 10 lies about this genocide debunked. Start the clock. Lie number one, the Israelis said again and again, including Netanyahu himself to the Nelt Boys, that Hamas was stealing the aid going into Gaza. But turns out, according to Israeli military officials, they never actually found any proof of that. No systematic theft. A study by the US government found no evidence either. Lie number two, they said this war was about the hostages, about getting them home, and it would stop the moment Hamas released all the hostages. And yet the Israeli hostage families say they were told that Hamas offered on October 9th or 10th to release all the civilian hostages in exchange for the IDF not entering the Strip, but the Israeli government rejected the offer. Oh, and Israeli ministers themselves keep saying again and again that the hostages are not their priority. Lie number three, beheaded babies, 40 beheaded babies. Even President Biden said he'd seen pictures of beheaded babies, but he couldn't have because there were no pictures, because there were no beheaded babies on October the 7th, nor were their babies put in ovens or hung on clotheslines. They were all lies. Even the Israeli press says so. You know which babies have been beheaded since October the 7th? Palestinian babies in Gaza from Israeli bombs. Lie number four, there was systematic mass rape by Hamas on October the 7th. Now, no one's saying there wasn't any sexual or gender-based violence on October the 7th, but mass rape as a weapon of war, well, the Times of London, a pro-Israel, Murdoch-owned right-wing newspaper, did a deep dive last year. Quote, Israel says Hamas has weaponized rape, but investigators say the evidence does not stand up to scrutiny. The UN Commission of Inquiry said last year that it had not been able to independently verify allegations of rape because of obstruction by the Israeli authorities, and the main Israeli prosecutor on the case has said, in the end, we don't have any complainants. Line number five, there is a Hamas command and control center under Al-Shifa Hospital. They even put out this video showing what looks like a Bond villain lair under Al-Shifa, but it's been nearly 2 years and we've still seen no evidence whatsoever of that vast structure under Al-Shifa. But we have seen evidence there of mass graves filled with Palestinian corpses. Line number six, the Rantisi Hospital was used to hide Israeli hostages, and we know this because here, unveiled by an Israeli military spokesman on camera, is a schedule used by the Hamas kidnappers, the Hamas guards, in the basement of the hospital, except it wasn't a guard schedule. It didn't have any names on it. It was just a calendar with the days of the week on it in Arabic. Line number seven, UNRWA is a front for Hamas, which was a claim Israel made and led to the US and other countries getting funding for UNRWA cut. Turns out it was all BS. Not only did the Wall Street Journal, which laundered Israel's lie on its front page, later privately admit that the Israeli claims haven't been backed by solid evidence, but a former French foreign minister who independently reviewed the UNRWA allegations says she was given no evidence by Israel to back them up. Line number eight, you can't trust the number of deaths published by the Hamas-controlled health ministry in Gaza. Well, actually, you can. The Lancet Medical Journal says you can, and guess who else says you can? Israeli intelligence. One Israeli intel source said, I trust the health ministry in Gaza more than the IDF for these statistics. Line number nine, all those massacre denials. We didn't massacre 15 aid workers, except a Sky News investigation found they did. We didn't massacre over 100 people waiting to get flour, except a CNN investigation found they did. You simply can't believe their denials. Line number 10, we don't use human shields. Hamas uses human shields. Well, Hamas hides under civilian areas, yes, but it's Israeli troops who literally strap Palestinians to the front of their vehicles. In fact, several Palestinians and soldiers told the AP that Israeli troops are systematically forcing Palestinians to act as human shields in Gaza. So there you have it, Israeli lie after Israeli lie, debunked in less than 3 minutes. You're welcome.